Greetings, everyone. Welcome to R.I.P.S number 8, Racism in Plain Sight. This broadcast is intended to teach non-white people about the system of racism, white supremacy, what it is, and how it works. Most importantly, this broadcast is designed to show you that everything that we are exposed to leads back or is directly the result of being within the system of white supremacy. I hope that this broadcast motivates you to begin to use your thought, speech, and action to counter racism, white supremacy, so that we may live in a system, so that we may establish a system of justice by replacing white supremacy. Again, system of justice, meaning that no one is mistreated and those who need help receive constructive help. This program is not designed to make fun of white people or non-white people, simply to report on the urgent need to eliminate white supremacy because it produces just a lot of nonsense and incorrectness. So please take this information, if it is of constructive value, and use it to motivate yourself to begin to study and counter the system of racism, white supremacy. Let's just go ahead and get started with our first clip. Our first clip being this one right here. Oops.
What'd you just say?
You say you're black.
So what?
Exactly.
So what if I'm black? What's up?
So what if I'm white?
I didn't say nothing about race, you racist.
So what if you're from
You're the one
California
bringing
and
up
I'm...
race. I'm not from California.
So where are you
what's up?
from?
It doesn't matter. What's up? What do you want to do?
Utah?
What the Back up, bro.
Back up, bro.
You know?
No.
Is that your dog? Out of here, you dumb. Whoa, back up. This is not your. This is not your dog no more. I got a video of everything.
Okay, so in this clip, we see a suspected racist woman throw a dog at a Black male. Now, the system of white supremacy, these sort of things should not surprise us because we are in a system of white supremacy and we really should be prepared for all sorts of incorrect things to happen. And it is often said that white people care about animals, and that is correct in some regards. But what they care about the most, I suspect, is maintaining the system of white supremacy, racism. So we see the white woman literally throw a dog at a Black male, and she didn't really say what him being a Black male had to do with anything, but being a Black male has everything to do with being in the system of white supremacy. We receive the greatest harm, the greatest incorrect treatment while being captured in the system of white supremacy. The Black male handled the attack, I would say, well, by maintaining his emotion and not harming the racist suspect, which would have surely led to him being placed in greater confinement. But understand that this is what racism, white supremacy looks like. You don't have to be called a nigger. You are simply mistreated because you are not white. Mistreatment on the basis of the color in your skin, as it is said by many attempted counter racists. And tragically, this female in the clip is what a lot of victims have been trained to find attractive, or we've been trained to want to find ourselves in the bedroom with people who classify us as their enemy. So this was what Hitler would define as the Ubermensch, blonde hair, blue eyes. But to me, she's simply a suspected racist practicing racism against this Black male by literally throwing a dog at another person, which should never happen in a system of white supremacy. All creatures and people deserve correct treatment, meaning they don't deserve to be mistreated in any way, shape, or form. But living in a system, existing in a system of white supremacy, this is what we should expect, this sort of incorrect mistreatment. I don't know how many victims have had a dog thrown at them, but it is not supposed to happen. But perhaps it will continue to happen until we solve the problem of racism, white supremacy. Greetings, Mr. Rael. Greetings, pleasure to have you as an audience. And if you would like to join the broadcast, please let me know, and I will shoot you a link to your email. But thanks for being part of the audience, and I hope the information presented here is of constructive value. So let me see what's going to be the next clip. All right, I know, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip next because we get to hear from a suspected racist themselves. Let me go ahead and get it on the screen for everyone.
Okay, and through the storm, through the rain.
Let's be real. How long before the Dust Bunny twins over here get a record deal, sponsors, and tours? Oh, you don't think so? Remember this, bozo?
Yo, so I got a public service announcement, but before I get to that, I want to show off these.
How about this, bozo?
How you sit here and tell me what race I am? If I say I'm black, then I'm black.
And this, bozo.
Catch me outside, how about that?
What do they all have in common, other than looking like they were born next to a nuclear testing site? They're all millionaires with hit records.
If you ain't gang, you ain't one of us.
It's the same formula. All you have to do if you want to make it nowadays is look like the dirtiest kid in high school, talk like a 3-year-old that just learned how to speak English,
Cause the comment all that shit, did that make you win money? No.
and turn a microphone on and record yourself saying basically anything to a rap beat.
Old bread, new drip, fake hoes, new tits, they call who this, fake lips, fake ships.
Follow those 3 easy steps and you too can join the Mickey Mouse Club for illiterate degenerates. Degenerate.
So the commentary is from a suspected racist, and I suspect behind closed doors he would be dropping the M-bomb and referring to these suspected racists. Everyone on the screen currently, I suspect to be a racist, especially this individual right here, Tekashi 6ix9ine, who literally is, as the commentator stated, is a millionaire from regurgitating literal noise, often confused with music. And his rap lyrics are literally baby sounds, but he has a huge following because he is a suspected racist who practices ghetto glorification, says nigga like he is a black male, which he is not. And yeah, this is what the system perpetuates. It wants us to celebrate and glorify any person who is promoting nonsense ghetto glorification. It wants us to believe that these people are so-called celebrities, but they are simply white people choosing to practice racism in their own way, which is, I suspect, to be pretending to be rapping or rappers. And no, they're just suspected racists practicing racism and the manner of promoting noise, garbage noise that promotes just destructive behaviors. And they have the look, the nonsense look that counter racism suggests, that is, hey, this is monsters and monstrosities. So we're looking at monsters and monstrosities here at these 4 individuals. So continuing with the just debauchery that is promoted in the system of white supremacy. I'm going to play this video in 1.5 speed because I am often copyright stricken, even though this is supposed to be under fair use, because I am attempting to broadcast and commentate on these clips in a way that is educational and news reporting. But I am a black male victim of racism, highly nigger banned, meaning that my content is heavily censored and hidden, and many of you all's comments are hidden from this channel. So please email me at counteringrws@gmail.com if I reply to you saying that your comment has been hidden, so that I am able to read the comment that you put time and energy to leave on the broadcast. So please share this content. Continuing with the broadcast.
This is Danny. She fell in love with Jack.
We fell for each other straight away.
She asked me to call her Puppy, and I thought it was cute.
But that pet name turned out to have a lot more significance than Jack knew.
What I love about being a dog is that I get to just play around and be praised and be taken care of.
While Jack was happy to get on board the puppy play boat, many onlookers had other opinions about their unusual relationship dynamic.
We do get a lot of negative comments online. Take it to the pound and have it euthanized. Jesus Christ, you need therapy.
Can this puppy-loving pair convince the world that what might seem weird to others is perfect for them?
All right, we may not need to watch any more than that. Was 52 seconds for us to get an understanding of what is happening. So people who classify themselves as white have a really interesting relationship to dogs. You know, it's often quoted in the white supremacy mindset that the dog is a man's best friend, and Neely Fuller has stated that they are promoting immense confusion in Area 8 sex, where they're trying to lead us to bestiality. And you can look at some of our earlier R.I.P.S broadcasts where we display zoophilia, which is the wanting to have sexual relationships with animals. So this is really not that far from that reality. We have a suspected racist white female and a suspected racist white male who are in a some sort of arrangement where she pretends to be a puppy and he is her owner. A stellar example of the Romulus and I believe Nero syndrome. You know, the so-called founders of Rome who were raised by dogs and the white supremacist mythos, which is why they have such a intense connection to dogs. Is this correct? I don't think so. Is this something that should be promoted? I don't think so. Does this promote confusion? Yes, I most certainly think it does. So we often like to believe that white people are well-mannered and, you know, not what I would call psychopaths, but I believe this to be an example of that psychopathology being displayed in full sight, because once upon a time, people classified as Black were placed in chains and forced to do all sorts of things for their white masters / slavers, all sorts of incorrect acts in the areas of sex, being raped and just being put through all sorts of incorrect hell. Now we have here 2021 white people willingly getting on their all fours, pretending to be dogs, wearing these collars and whatnot. Very, very incorrect. And I suspect this has almost 500,000 views. So I suspect that it is causing more confusion as to what is happening on planet Earth. These people are not attempting to produce a system of justice, but continue the insane system of white supremacy. That's all I'm going to say about this particular clip. But for more information on just the really incorrect relationship that white people have with dogs, please read the ISIS papers. Dr. Francis Rasmussen mentions the Romulus and Nero syndrome in that text, and also check out thefaredevil.com, because you will see a lot of the white psychopathology reported on that site. Again, thefaredevil.com. All right, let me go to our next clip. Okay. Which one do I want? All right, this is just
today, cause this bitch is Subway say I will. You will beat my ass. I will. You need to go back there and do your job. I will. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job, bitch. Y'all want this woman to make your food? She will not make my customers' food and threaten to beat my ass with her racist ass. Come on out here and do your job, bitch. You got the right motherfucking white girl. Somebody call the police. Sir, can you call the law? Why not? She's one person. And I'm willing to wait for their food that she's refusing to make. So, you won't call the law? Okay, well then serve your country and sit right on right there. I bet you got that vaccine too, didn't you? Yeah, you Democrat, socialist, commie bastard.
Hey, don't you damn call me no commie bastard. I took it because bad lungs run in my family.
Well, I pray to God that you don't get hurt because that shit it kills old the day because this bitch is Subway.
Okay, so we have here a suspected racist practicing racism, white supremacy against the Black female, who I suspect is not really in the know of how this system works or what it is. But the Yurugu, this is definitely a Yurugu moment, because what we learned from the Yurugu and also the ISIS paper is that one of the main tactics of racist men and racist women is projection. They will often project their true nature or their true feelings onto its victims. Notice that she called the Black female a racist B word, when her in this time and place, she's the one practicing racism. Also, we learned in Yurugu the intense and necessary control that white people must have in regards of literally all aspects of their life. If they feel like they have lost control, then chaos ensues. So her not being able to get her food when she wants it caused this racist outburst. But again, projection 101, we are often called lazy and not wanting to be of constructive value, but we have been conditioned and trained to be so totally confused. But white people most certainly are not confused about racism and white supremacy, which is why they're so able to practice it in so many ways, and we often do not know what is happening, what is taking place. But she says she picked the wrong white girl today. Another fallacy, because this is not a white girl, this is a white woman. Girls are people who are non-white. This is a white woman practicing racism, and the Yurugu moment is her losing the control. She thinks that this Black female should, be working for her immediately, despite her being the only worker in the job today, aka plantation. No, that's not good enough for her. She wants this slave Black female to be, what are you doing? You're not making my food fast enough. And she's calling her all sorts of bitches and whatnot. Totally incorrect, but again, this should be expected as long as we live in a system of white supremacy. And I do hope that the creator guides the Black female to counter racism logic, counter racism philosophy, so we're able to increase the number of Black people who are wanting to solve the problem. So let me get to the next clip. I know what clip I want to play next.
Call cops!
Oh, not this one. Let me pause this really quickly and find the next clip. Again, if you're just joining the broadcast, please like and share. This account is most certainly censored, nigger banned, often known as shadow banned, but yeah, this information is necessary for Black people, non-white people to have access to, because I do not want to do this forever. I want to achieve an effective number of non-white people who will help to solve the problem of racism, white supremacy, because we're not solving any problem with just myself. We're gonna need a lot of non-white people to solve the problem. Alrighty, so this is the next clip. Let me resume the share. Ghetto glorification 101.
Motherfucking summer, bitch. I'm finna have my motherfucker. I want some snow crabs and I want to pop this pussy all motherfucking summer. So, bitch, I need a motherfucking Henny and some motherfucking Plan B, bitch. Bitch, I need some Henny and a Plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny and a Plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny. Show me that motherfucking Henny. Pop that motherfucking cat teeth. Y'all, come here, come get this motherfucking ass. Pop that the Plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny and a Plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny and a motherfucking Plan B. Can I get a Plan B? The Plan B.
Bitch, I need some Henny and some Plan B. And this is exactly what racist men and racist women have produced. This sort of behavior is seen as fun, as something that we should be doing with our time and energy. But why I played this, if this clip was only Black females, I would not have played it. But I suspect that this person is a suspected racist, white supremacist female. And white people love being around non-white people if they are able to be non-constructive with them. You know, this white female, I suspect, is having a blast being amongst these highly victimized, extremely pitiful, just like myself, victims of racism. This sort of behavior is highly incorrect and a stellar example of the retardation that we all have been led to, we all have been subjected to. And when I say retarded, I mean simply behaving and thinking in an area of our development that we are just behind. You know, we're not behaving like so-called men and so-called women. We behave like children. We're conditioned to behave like children who simply just want attention and to have fun. Again, Henny and Plan B. Plan B is a drug that one can take when they did not use safety precautions in having sex to prevent pregnancy. So they're at the Walgreens dancing and saying, we need a Henny and some Plan B. What constructive value is that? None, literally none. But the ghetto glorification is all over this clip. We see the Black females with the fake hair, with the twerking, the shaking of the ass. All is what racist men and racist women love seeing. They see something like this, they rub their hands together and say, oh, we're doing an excellent job in our business of white supremacy. And look at the comments of such videos, you'll see a lot of white people having a blast, mocking these victims who probably don't even know they're victims. Most Black people, most non-white people have no clue that they're victims of racism, which is why we behave so incorrectly, so stupidly. But this white female, she could tell them, hey, you know, y'all not supposed to be behaving like this. You guys are victims of racism. You guys need to do better. But nah, she's having a blast. You know, if these Black females were to begin to practice kind of racism, she would just go find another group of Black females to be silly with again. Because white people are not interested in being amongst us if we are trying to solve the race problem. But if we're in a Walgreens shaking our ass and trying to get some Henny, some Plan B, they're all for it. All for it. We need to solve this problem urgently, immediately, because this nonsense will continue, but it should not continue at all. All right, going on to the next clip. Let's see if this will load up. Okay.
Is that your bike? Camera.
So on this clip, we witnessed two suspected racists.
I mean, I'm 30 years old. I've been playing Battlefield my entire life.
I mean, really hate
this isn't the same, but it's all
Facebook, because they will autoplay nonsense. So in this clip, we have two suspected racists stealing a bike. I suspected this was a Black male, Black female doing this. They would have got tackled. Someone would have stopped them, would have made some sort of citizen's arrest. But this is an example of not white privilege. I say again, not white privilege, but white power. This is what white power looks like: being able to steal openly in public and no one does anything. Because in the system of white supremacy, white people are the greatest thieves, the greatest murderers, the greatest deceivers to have ever walked planet Earth. So easily, this bike looks very, very expensive. As a person who has had many, many, many bikes stolen from me, this is very, very tragic for the whoever bike this was. But yeah, just white people are the greatest thieves. White power 101. White people can do whatever they want and get away with it. Kyle Rittenhouse just acquitted for murder, which I was totally expecting, because that is what white power looks like. And because I just mentioned Kyle Rittenhouse, let me just show this picture as I end my commentary on the bike picture. So this is a really telling picture of what white people think of non-white people, especially Black people. So we see a bunch of monkeys from Planet of the Apes, and it says, well, it looks like Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty, like I knew he would be. Now prepared for the monkey outrage. And it says, Kenosha chimp out. Obama covers Oval Office and shit while chimping. And Swisher Sweets, Swisher Sweets and the system of white supremacy are code for Black people. White Black people are often encouraged and led to consume this deadly product, deadly smoking apparatus product. And chipping out is a racist code word for Black people in general. There's a whole website called chimpout.com where you will find the phrase chimping out being referred to Black people behaving in incorrect ways as they were trained to. So this is what I suspect the average white person thinks of the average Black person, no matter what. I heard a really incredible broadcast today on the Cows Context of White Supremacy by Mawali Baruti. And it's simply, and Mawali Baruti was saying that Black people often try to change how they look, how they behave, how they come across to white people, because we think that that will get white people to like us. But white people are not trained to like us. They're trained to mistreat us and to subjugate us. So we should not change our behavior to get white people to like us. We should change our behavior to get white people from stopping to practicing white supremacy, racism against us, because that is the only way we're going to get out of this problem, out of this hellhole evil empire known as the system of white supremacy. We are not apes, we are not monkeys, we are not creatures. We are people placed here on planet Earth to solve the race problem. We are not here to shuck and jive for white people, or to be subjected to such mistreatment 24/7. It's just unacceptable. And it should really motivate us to want to begin to learn counter racist logic. Please go to producejustice.com, order your copy of the code book and the word guide, so you will be armed with knowledge of how we can counter racist men and racist women, because I suspect when Black people are serious about solving the problem, white people will begin to sweat, because every time I run into a Black person, we're not going to be trying to please them. We will be practicing the correct language and behavior when dealing with them. If not, we will continue to be likened to apes and animals forever. So should be motivation for solving the problem. Kyle Rittenhouse, free man, no jail time. Julius Jones, innocent Black male, death sentence commuted to life in prison. Not the correct existence, not the correct planet that we should be happy to live on. I don't care how comfortable you are. I don't care how much white people have allowed you to have. You should be working to solve the race problem immediately. And that could be as simple as changing your thought, speech, and behavior. Practice the 10 stops. No name calling, no gossiping, no pretending that white supremacy does not exist. No snitching, no killing, no stealing. Many things we can do to solve the problem and establish a system of justice. All right, let's go on to the next clip. All right. I don't recall what this clip is, but let's just give it a watch.
The Black male needs to get up and decide to put these Black chicks in their place.
You say the Black women are messing with your mom? You say your mom's in the hospital? Oh, they're messing with the country.
That's so.
Okay, all right.
So the Black male needs to say,
Well, let me hold that thought. Let me order this food real quick.
Oh.
Now, what was you saying again?
The Black male needs to wrestle the Black female and tell her and put her in her place. Because if you don't, she's just gonna
Right.
She's just gonna, I don't know, she's just gonna, mess it all up.
All right, I'll end it right there. We probably don't need to hear the rest of it. I'll put the link in the chat for folks who would like to see the rest of it. But I do appreciate the suspected racist correct usage of vocabulary. That is correct. Black males are black males and black females are black females. Nothing more, nothing less. We are not women. We are not men. So the real men that exist are all white. The real women that exist are all white. My apologies for putting this garbage on the screen by accident. And yeah, so, but she's incorrect. Black males do not have any power to make the black female do anything, and black females don't have the power to make black males do anything. The people who are in charge are all white. So what the black male and the black female needs to do is to work together to solve the system, no, to eliminate the system of white supremacy. This suspected racist seems frightened that black females are somehow messing up her so-called country, which again cannot happen. And people who are in charge are all white, and black males and black female don't have the power to do anything. We have access to be silly, confused, and very stupid, but we don't have the power to mess up an entire so-called country. We would not be allowed to do that at all. So appreciate her correct use of language. Black males and black females is the correct term when referring to people who are non-white. That goes for so-called Asian males, so-called Asian females. Anyone non-white, you are not a man, you are not a woman, you are a victim of racism, male or female. Please do not pretend that you are a man or a woman unless you can successfully defend yourself against white people when they want to come kick your door down, or they want to come take things that you think you own, or if you use money printed by white people, or if they control your value of your money. You are not in any way, shape, or form powerful enough to stop them. But if we are practicing and began to practice counter-racist code, using the correct words and knowledge, and interacting with white people, if we no longer support and perpetuate ghetto glorification, we can evolve from males and females into universal man and universal woman, which is what we should be. People who practice justice and correctness, people who do not tolerate people being mistreated anywhere on planet Earth. That is what we should be attempting to do. That should be our goal. But until then, we are simply males and females. I don't care if you are so-called Asian, so-called Mexican, if you're a brown person, any non-white person, you are not a man, you are not a woman. I don't use the terms, and I don't pretend to be a man, because I'm simply a pitiful victim begging white people and non-white people to help solve the problem. And I have no problem begging, because I don't want to be a slave forever. I don't want to be a nigger forever. I don't want to be subjugated forever. I would love, if love was a real thing, I would really appreciate if we all got serious about solving the problem of racism and white supremacy, because it's just so incorrect. And too many victims of racism have left us information or produce information so that we are able to solve the problem. And let's get to solving the problem ASAP. All right, another really telling clip of what it means to be in a system of white supremacy.
I got a number, Andres got a number.
So the title of this clip is what does the N stand for? This could be a really before I saw this video of this guy, white skin, that's me one person she thinks more highly of his skin than I think of it. That makes sense. You know, white people have been conditioned to believe that their skin is superior to non-white skin, but the evidence presented in the ISIS papers and in Urugu and a number of other places suggests otherwise. Thank you for that insight. Rate this record. So in this clip, we have a black male, and it's always a red alert, red flag when you see a black person, a single black person who thinks they have friends who are white, who thinks they have friends at all, because understanding we're in a system of white supremacy, having friends is just not something that is even possible. Friends would help us solve the problem. And I'm gonna play the clip again because it's only 7 seconds and we may have missed what is happening. So I'm gonna play it again really quickly.
I got a number. Andre's got a number.
So yeah, we have a black male hanging out with white men, and they all got numbers. I guess they're at a restaurant, and he didn't get a number. He got a letter that says N. Now I don't know if this is just a stellar example of racism in plain sight. The N could stand for nigga or nigger. They both mean the same thing. Victim of racism. So the dangers of being the only black person in a group of white people, it's just that you are always the butt of the joke. White people are not confused about racism and white supremacy. Non-white people are, certainly, which is why I suspect this black male was thinking he has friends who are white, why he's spending his time and energy hanging out with these white people who are, again, laughing at him. No one is saying, well, at least in this clip, no one is saying, hey, why did he get a stand that says N and we got numbers? You know, what does this N stand for? I wonder if they asked the restaurant owners / servers this. But yeah, it could just be like overt racism being practiced. You know, what does the N stand for? I maintain that it stands for nigger / nigga, but I may be in error. But continuing, we do not have friends, and we most certainly do not have white friends in the system of white supremacy. If we did, the system of white supremacy would not exist. So let me go to the next clip.
Smarter in seconds, fat phobia.
Fat phobia is hatred, fear, and discrimination against fat people.
It is also a fear of gaining weight and fatness itself.
Fat phobia results in the isolation and erasure of fat people,
diet culture, unhealthy relationships with food,
harmful beauty standards, workplace discrimination, and medical discrimination.
Fat phobia is the problem. Fatness is not.
Smarter in seconds.
Workplace discrimination.
Yeah, so they're really 2021 racism man and racism woman are promoting all sorts of incorrectness. One being this fat phobia. We got homophobia, fat phobia. I would love to see a system of white supremacy phobia, but we all have that. We just don't know that we are afraid of countering the problem of racism and white supremacy. But yeah, being so-called fat is I would think it's incorrect, because if it leads to high blood pressure, diabetes, early death, then it's not something we should be promoting. But there are a number of videos saying that it's okay to be obese. It's okay to just gorge on poison, which is not true. It's not true. Fat phobia is not a thing. Yes, people may mistreat people who are fat, which is not okay. Everyone should receive the help that they need when they need help the most. But pretending like being obese is okay is not. And if you're a person is obese because of health issues that they are unable to control, maybe they were born with them, or maybe they're on some sort of medication that makes them gain weight, then that's totally understandable. But creating these labels like phobias and attaching it to literally everything is incorrect. We should not glorify, promote, or accept the notion that being unhealthy is normal. It is not. But the system will love for a lot of non-white people to say, hey, you're just fat phobic. I don't need to improve my health. You're just fat phobic. I don't need to eat veggies and fruit. Because what that produces is a bunch of more monsters and monstrosities walking around. Racist men and racist women love seeing us at our worst, whether it's being homeless on the street, sleeping on the pavement, or just being really obese, knowing that we're gonna be dead by 60 due to health complications. So fat phobia is not a thing. Many of the other phobias are not a thing that is often regurgitated by confused victims. And it's just a pitiful example of us, much rather than being honest and truthful, would use the words white people would give us to avoid improving our existence, improving our health. Really tragic. Just this is what is promoted, and this is why I suspect TikTok is so dangerous and not a place for young people to be. But I saw a Vice report that most people who use TikTok are from really young, as young as 11 or 12, and it has created a culture of just nonsense. And that social media platform, like many other, just full of nonsense. So I hope that this broadcast is countering some of it, and we are able to understand that, hey, maybe I should work out a couple of times a week, maybe make a vegan meal, not even a vegan meal. I don't like to use that term. Maybe I should just consume more fruits and veggies for my well-being. I'm a black male, I'm a black female, or I'm a non-white male, non-white female, and historically we've been fed nonsense that we can sustain ourselves on, fried food and sugary foods, and don't need that much water. But this is all nonsense. We should want to put constructive things in our body, nutrients in our body that will allow our body to be more constructive. Coco Jojo says, I don't agree with the term non-white. That is perfectly okay. Please put it in the chat why you do not. And I will share it with the broadcast. But continuing, I think there's just more damaging effects of TikTok. Let's see what this video is. I think it's from the same commentator from earlier, but let's see.
Oh no. Is this what I think it is? Yeah, it is. The culmination of social media. A TikTok house. Imagine driving around with your family looking for a house and you see this atrocity. Look at these kids. They act like they're training for a UFC fight. I could only imagine what's going on inside.
All right, I have to do a quick bathroom break. Be right back. I'm the only person on the broadcast tonight, so no one else can take over. So be right back. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, sorry about that. Let me back in. Let me just play it. Sorry, I'm gonna start it over. It's only 22 seconds in.
Oh no. Is this what I think it is? Yeah, it is. The culmination of social media. A TikTok house. Imagine driving around with your family looking for a house and you see this atrocity. Look at these kids. They act like they're training for a UFC fight. I could only imagine what's going on inside. Why did I ask? Looks like some sort of fertility exercise. Jesus, these are gonna be people's grandmothers someday. What's going on in this room? This must be the circle jerk wing of the house. Yeah. Listen to him. Yeah. Yo. This must be the male version of yes.
Yes. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like some sort of influencer mating call. That's what normal people need. We need to start identifying each other like they do so we can outbreed them and save the planet. What else is going on in this halfway house? Another carousel of dingleberries.
Okay, I think I can stop it right there. We may not need to watch all of the nonsense. But yeah, this is how serious the system of white supremacy is about just retarding the entire planet globally. It's mostly Black people, non-white people who are trained to just be attention-seeking victims and who practice that sort of buffoonery. But with this social media app called TikTok, it has produced a ton of even white people who are on that trajectory and behavior pattern of just wanting attention, and they will get their attention by being tragically stupid, tragically pitiful. I think TikTok is a huge example of the proof that non-white people do not have the correct child rearing techniques or a mindset, because as we learned in the ISIS papers, the crisis of child parents, that when you have a child, say you have a child at the age of 15, 18, 19, 17, mentally you will stay that age forever, or until you no longer have to take care of the child, because having a child when you're not ready for it retards your development, because having a child is very, very stressful. And many victims of racism allow their children to have these iPads, these iPhones, these cell phones, and they go on TikTok and watch this sort of garbage. Now, this is a TikTok house. I watched a Vice broadcast where they had a hype house, which is the same thing, a bunch of white people in that house producing TikTok content that millions and millions of children watch, non-white children and white children. And when they're watching these things, what do they want to do afterwards? They want to grow up to be influencers. And I think influencer is a code for influencing people to be silly, stupid, confused, and pitiful. Not something we should be promoting. Imagine if we had attempted to counter racist houses, or attempted to counter racist environments where non-white people could go, Black people could go, children could go and learn how to counter racism and white supremacy. That would be much, much more constructive than these TikTok houses. It's just racist man and racist woman, a Urugu moment. Technology is often used to retard us further, victimize us further. And 2021, that's what it's been doing, just keeping us dominated and confused and just not in a position to really focus and think, importantly think. I love one of the passages in Destruction of Black Civilization. Chancellor Williams says, how did we build all those pyramids once upon a time ago? How did we produce such grand civilizations while white people were still in the caves and or not existing yet? We had time to think. And TikTok, social media, these apps prevent us from thinking, from being able to think correctly about, to do anything of value. Jumping up and down for likes is not constructive. Duetting songs, singing along noise is not constructive, and it does not allow us to think. And we're just in a 2021, we're in an environment where we're just, technology is 24/7. You wake up, check your phone, go to bed on your phone, on your apps. And it's just, white people have done an excellent job at retarding us and keeping us focused on everything silly and nothing serious. And it's just really tragic. And Coco Jojo says from the chat, everyone is against Black people. They form Voltron against us. I love y'all's channel though. Keep up the good work, family. Thank you. I appreciate your appreciation. You're correct. Everyone has been trained to hate, despise, want to mistreat Black people. Even Black people have been trained to want to mistreat Black people. And yeah, I don't think that discredits the term of non-white, because remember who got nuked? Non-white people classified as Asian. Who got hit with the chemical agent known as Agent Orange? Non-white people. It's just that white people will allow so-called yellow people, so-called brown people, so-called red people more comfort. Black people receive the most mistreatment, the most pressure from racism and white supremacy, because they know that they have to keep us at the bottom, because we have I'm suspecting, the most potential to solve the problem or to produce people who have color in their skin. We are mistreated the most because they know that if we are thinking correctly, we have such an immense power within our being, but they have so retarded us and beaten that reality out of us that, hey, everyone's anti-Black. I didn't become serious thinking until I discovered trauma, and I set out to heal the trauma of Black people. And then I realized, I can't heal shit while we're in a system of white supremacy. And wanting to correct the trauma that Black people face, I discovered the system of white supremacy being the root of all trauma. So I understand that mindset. Yes, so-called Asian people do not seem serious about solving the problem. They seem very comfortable with the crumbs that white people allow them to have. I don't see many non-white groups that don't involve, I don't see many non-white groups with so-called yellow, brown, or red people who are really serious about solving the problem. I only see Black people trying to solve the problem. And it's probably because we received the most mistreatment. But I suspect when Black people get really serious, yellow people will get serious, brown people will get serious, red people will get serious, because we are often mimicked. Whatever we do is eventually copied by everyone. So if we start displaying Black self-respect, serious thinking, serious behaving, then that may encourage millions of people to do the same. But while we're being silly with our rap, showing off, attention-seeking nonsense, people are not going to take us serious. Why should they? Why would they? You know, everyone's been programmed to mistreat us flawlessly. You know, if you're white, you're all right. If you're brown, if you're yellow, you're mellow. If you're brown, stick around. If you're black, get back. You know, so this message has been received worldwide. So even in places where there are millions of dark-skinned people, like so-called India, they even received a message, and which is why there's so much controversy and so many reports on the light skin, the bleaching of the skin over there, so-called Bollywood only hiring light-skinned actors, because everyone has gotten the message that, hey, if you want to be somewhat comfortable in the system, get whiter, some way, shape, or form. But we should not be trying to get whiter. We should be trying to get serious about solving this problem, because plot twist, there's way more non-white people than white people. There's way more black people than white people. So all we need to do is get serious, practice counter-racist code, spread counter-racist code. I suspect I've gotten at least 10 people to buy the code book, read the code book. If we all got, I'm shy, 9,990 people. Everyone should be attempting to get at least 1,000 people to practice code, to get the code book, so we could produce that effective number. Which is why I beg you all, please share this content. Please share producejustice.com, Context of White Supremacy, thefaredevil.com, counterracism.com. Please share these avenues of knowledge to other Black people so we can develop that effective numbers and solve this problem. If not, we're just going to keep being silly forever. And as I said earlier in the broadcast, I don't want that. I suspect many of you don't want that either. So let's continue. All right, I guess we can watch this one next. It's only 16 seconds. Again, you're watching Racism in Plain Sight.
À défaut d'avoir suffisamment de munitions, les militaires maliens ont de l'imagination.
Okay, so we all just saw here, just the system of white supremacy in its truest form. These so-called non-white army, the Malayan army, they're using gun sounds because they don't have enough ammunition to actually train correctly for battle. And this is how the system of white supremacy works. You know, the system of white supremacy is so afraid of non-white people having guns and ammunition that this so-called army is unable to practice correctly. They're using like children. You know, remember when you were a kid, when you were a young child, you used to go bang, 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 you know, with your fake imaginary gun. We have a whole army doing this because white people do not want non-white people to have a gun. So if you are in the area of the world known as the United States so-called, strap up, you know, learn how to use firearms for your protection and for your safety. Because clearly white people are afraid of us owning guns and having access to ammunition and production of guns. Or else, why wouldn't they allow this army to train correctly? This is this is an example of the worldwide pitiful nature and position that we are in as Black people / non-white people. And it should not be happening. if they don't have ammunition to train correctly, I suspect they don't have ammunition to defend themselves if needed be. But in a system of white supremacy, non-white people really can't defend themselves. I listened to an excellent broadcast today. I'll put the address in the chat right now as I'm speaking. But white people, it's often said that that white people are trying to kill all of us, whatnot. They want to genocide all of us. But if that was true, they would have no problem doing so, because we are in a system of white supremacy and they have deliberately made us defenseless and unable to defend ourselves. So if they made an announcement saying, hey, we're going to kill all non-white people, Black people tomorrow, there's very little we could do to stop that from happening. So white people are not interested in killing all of us. They just want to kill enough of us to keep this system going. So I just put in the chat the COWS archive, where you could just find thousands of hours perhaps of constructive information to teach you about white supremacy, what it is and how it works. This broadcast is the COWS, Context of White Supremacy, is heavily responsible for the production and arrangement of CRWS. CRWS would not exist without the Context of White Supremacy, nor without the ISIS papers, because those two platforms, the ISIS papers and the COWS, is what got me motivated to start my own counter-racist effort. So please check out the broadcast. I put it in the chat, bookmark it, share it with everyone. Very, very constructive information. But again, in regards to the clip, if we were not in a system of white supremacy, we wouldn't even need so-called armies, because everyone would be practicing a system of justice, guaranteeing no one is allowed to be mistreated, and those who need help will receive help. Coco Jojo says Gus T is awesome, and I agree wholeheartedly. A very constructive, attempting counter-racist soldier in the war of white supremacy. So let's go on to what we're playing next. All right, so just to contrast the clip we just played with the so-called army practicing with sound effects, while Black people across the globe are having to do that, this is what racist men and racist women are doing with their free time, because they have the luxury to do so. They have already conquered the entire planet. So this is what they can do with their free time.
That's all, folks.
So, yes, this is I guess this is the spoils of war. You know, when you have dominated the planet, this is what you could do for your so-called fun. This is what you could do with your time and energy. And I don't want to get too philosophical or too analytical of what I'm seeing here, but I have read, perhaps in Message to Black Man or other works, that the pig the skin of a pig is the closest skin texture to that of a white person. Perhaps that is why this suspected racist white female is paying homage to the pig. But there seems to be a competition of folks who can make pig noises, maybe other animal noises. I don't know. I do know that this is a competition involving pig noises. So that while Black people are fighting for scraps, fighting to not starve to death, fighting and these conflicts white people have created, this is what white people are allowed to do with their time and energy. Stuff like this definitely should be motivation to solving this problem, because it's incorrect. While we are suffering in this hellish system called white supremacy, white people are allowed to literally do whatever they want, whenever they want, because that is the spoils of the race war. Racism is a war against non-white people, especially Black people. Everything known as a so-called war, like the Afghanistan war, the Iraqi war, those are simply battles within the race war of white supremacy. So motivation, I hope, motivation for folks to solve the problem. And I know I have let me see if I have it on the screen. Yeah, let me pause it because I want to contrast this clip with another clip. All right, this is a example of what we're doing with our time and energy. And it's it's just something that we should really stop doing. We should stop promoting and doing what I'm going to put on the screen right now. Complete nonsense. But what does Neely Fuller say, and many other attempted counter racists say? Especially Black people are serious about silly things. And look at the just poor Black male child here scratching his head. That's also a prominent symbol in the system of white supremacy, a Black male scratching their head. But this is a correct reason for the Black child to be scratching their head, because his brain computer is probably thinking, what is happening? What the hell is happening? Why are these Black people jumping up and down, jumping on each other? Why is this Black child even here? I can tell you why it's here. Because Black people, like white people, have been trained to really not give a damn about children. Should a child be exposed to such incorrectness and debauchery? I would say no. Should this child be having to see so many Black people behave in a incorrect manner. No, but this is racism in plain sight. This is how we are. Have been trained worldwide, globally, to behave. Not correct at all. Head scratching Negro is what racist men and racist women love seeing. And it should not. Why have we normalized such debauchery? Because racist men and racist women have allowed us to. We would not produce these noise. We would not produce the noise often called music if white people had not allowed us to do so. They've allowed us to do so because we know it is not going to help us to solve the problem. Partying does not help us to solve the problem. It may be a great form of escapism from running away from the problem, from distracting ourselves for a couple of hours. But at the end of the day, we're still victims of white supremacy, and we're still perceived to be very, very stupid, very, very silly, and very, very pitiful. More motivation to solve this problem. It's not going to solve itself, and it's not going to be solved by us partying, dancing, and listening to noise, often confused with music. Yeah, it's just, I am sorry to have to expose y'all to this nonsense, but this is the norm for most non-white people, especially Black people. This is what we do for our time and energy. Things like this, so-called partying, so-called turning up. I didn't even like turning up or partying before I went to so-called college, where I was invited to go to these things and jump around and act the fool. Yeah, I did it. Didn't enjoy it that much, but some of it was fun. But knowing what I know now, would I do it again? Certainly not. Certainly not. I've always hated dancing since I was a little boy. Still a boy, but not that little anymore. And I know why I've hated dancing. I know why I've hated dancing now, because something within my brain computer knew that we should have been using our time and energy to do something more constructive. Dancing is not going to help us solve the problem. We should be dancing when it's for a good workout, maybe therapeutic sometimes, but that should not be our whole existence. It's so easy to find a clip of a Black person dancing than a Black person being serious about racism and white supremacy. Super tragic, super pathetic, super pitiful. We have to change the dynamic immediately, or we will be dominated forever. All right, taking the focus back to white people, which is what this broadcast is all about. The dancing clip, that's all the result of white people dominating us to such a degree, a high degree, where we have just been made so I hate to use the word so often, but it's correct terminology to use. So retarded. All right, so here we have here in Glasgow, white protest. But yeah, I'm gonna decode these 23 seconds after we witness it. So this is a so-called protest demonstration being done by a suspected racist white female, pouring oil, maybe oil down her throat. It says oil, but I can't be too sure. And yeah, this is a great. Let me just read this something that I saw on Instagram by a fellow victim of racism and white supremacy. Very, very constructive. Let me put it on the screen really quickly. And then I'm going to attempt to decode this clip. Okay, so we have, I'm just going to read this quote. Shout out to Mr. Tevin. Hope you see this broadcast eventually one day. It says, Area 5 law. Do not expect truth to be revealed or used in a manner that results in justice and or correctness. Those so-called lawmaking that is directly or indirectly dominated by a racist man and or racist woman, at best, this is the important part, at best, expect only the expressions of concern or sympathy. So back to this clip, I think this is an excellent example of sympathy and or concern, because how is this gonna stop so-called climate change? We cannot solve any major problem without solving the system of white supremacy, because climate change is the result of white people pillaging the planet in incorrect ways of its resources. So this white woman, I think she's just having a little fun here. That's what I think is going on. I think she's having fun ingesting this black material in her body. We understand from an ISIS paper that white people love ingesting dark things into their bodies, because I don't know if a black person could tolerate such things, ingesting whatever substance is going into their body. But yeah, so this is just like Greta Thunberg and the whole Extinction Rebellion, that whole avenue of so-called climate change activists. We're not gonna solve that problem unless we solve the system of white supremacy first, because every major problem is the result of racism, white supremacy. Racist men and racist women do not care about polluting the planet, do not care about destroying the ozone layer. If they did, they would not be doing it. And if they don't care about killing non-white people in large numbers, why the hell would they care about destroying the environment? They don't. So I think this is just this white woman just having a little bit of fun, maybe symbolically ingesting some black material to feel good, because we learned from the ICE papers that white people long for color, and it's been quoted in counter racism work that white people hate black people because they are not black themselves. And they spend a lot of time ingesting, big black cigars, or trying to find a black male or a black female to sexually abuse and pretend that it's a relationship or a sex, all to get this color in their skin. So I don't think she's trying to solve climate change, because if she was, she would be telling white people to stop practicing racism, white supremacy, the greatest perpetuator of violence and destruction towards the planet. Rate This Record says, I look at public domain on Internet Archive all the time. I had no idea cows was up there. Interesting. Yeah, I've discovered that too. When you use Google to find stuff, it is very, very censored, and it hides a lot of constructed information. I would recommend using DuckDuckGo or Brave search engines when you are trying to do some research, because Google is not our friend. It's not gonna help us to find constructed information. And there's two. I'm gonna put the second collection of the cows in the chat, but there's actually two links where there's tons of cows broadcast. So make sure you bookmark the one I just put in there and you share it with everyone, because the context of white supremacy is an excellent, excellent tool for understanding white supremacy, what it is and how it works. We have a couple of broadcasts with white people, but we did not have the expertise or skill to talk to white people at that point in time. But the Cows, Dusty Renegade, and Justice, they are excellent attempt to counter racist. And I beg you all to listen to their content and share their content. Greetings, raw interpreters. I appreciate your appreciation. Thanks for the audience. Yes, Black Power fam. Yeah, I do hope one day that we are able to say Black Power and it has a system of justice behind it. But until then, working towards justice is our top priority. All right, what's next? What is next? All right. I'm gonna play this clip because I think it's a classic example of the confusion we are in.
Ain't no issue. If it was an issue, you'll feel me.
All right.
Come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name.
All right. I think this is a tragic example of just how confused Black males and Black females are. This respect concept, you know. I love the. I mean, stop this autoplay. Jeez, no one wants to see suspected racists play video games. So sorry for that interruption. But non-white people, especially Black people, have been so confused with this respect concept. You know, put some respect in my name, said the Black male victim of racism, Mr. Birdman here, with the tattoos on their face, and just to get a glorification one-on-one. But this respect concept has been thrown around. I have been cursed out by many of Black males, so-called banged on by many of Black males by not respecting them. I look at them in an incorrect way or wearing the wrong colors in the wrong area. But I appreciate Neely Fuller's compensatory definition of respect, which is refusing to lie to oneself. You know, and we lie to ourselves when we pretend that we are men, when we pretend that we are not victims, when we pretend that white people aren't in charge, when we pretend that we are worthy of the so-called respect. But the best respect a person could have is respect for themselves. You know, we cannot get respect from anyone. No one can say, here you go, here's some respect. Right here, I got it in an envelope. That's not how respect works. You know, I suspect this respect concept is another tool concept used by white people to keep us confused. You know, we love to mistreat other Black people, non-white people, because they're not respecting us. Which I maybe in this context means that, hey, you're not listening to me, or you're not afraid of me, or whatever it means. It doesn't make any sense. And I hope everyone noticed Birdman's just the sound of his voice, like the cracking of his voice. I hear fear there. I hear like he's about to start crying or something, which is evident of the childlike boy position that we are in. You know, what can we do to actually get so-called respect for anyone? Not much of anything. So the best form of respect we can practice is self-respect, which is refusing to lie to ourselves. That's what we need to do. That's the kind of respect we need to be spreading. And Dr. Francis Westbosing said that self-respect is stronger than a nuclear bomb. And I agree. If we had millions of Black people non-white people telling the truth, saying, hey, you know what? I'm a victim of racism. I am very, very powerless. I have been made and put in a very pitiful position. And the best I can do is practice self-respect by refusing to lie and pretend that I'm a man or a woman or anything of the sort. I'm gonna do my best to be truthful and practice counter racism and practice Black self-respect by no longer lying to myself, no longer name calling other Black people, no more gossiping, no more snitching, no more stealing, no more making fun of other victims. I'm just gonna practice a counter racist code. That would do some damage. That would do fatal damage to the system of white supremacy. And that's what I hope this broadcast would encourage folks to do. Because we're not worthy of this so-called respect, because whenever white people or non-white people look at a so-called Black person, oftentimes they will see a joke, because we have been made a laughing stock of the world, the planet. So self-respect is the best form of respect that we can practice. Don't be like Birdman, begging and demanding for respect when there's no reason to give it. And the best way to get it is to give it to yourself. So racism in plain sight, this concept of respect. All right. So moving on, we're gonna go towards this victim of racism. I wish this, let me refresh it to see if it'll play. All right, it won't play, but I'll read the article. It says, this is from 3 days ago, self-proclaimed lying queen joins News 12 to discuss trying to enter a Bronx Zoo lion exhibit again. And I saw a video. There's a really interesting YouTube account called They Will Kill You, and you could just see the racism in plain sight all over that channel. They will kill you. They will kill you. Check it out. Maybe do some studying and reporting and more motivation to solve this problem. But continuing, it says, a woman was caught on video trying to get into the lion exhibit at the Bronx Zoo for a second time last week. She recently spoke with News 12 about why she keeps making these attempts. Maya Autry, who calls herself the Lion Queen, was caught on video attempting to get into the exhibit last on November 11th and was throwing money and roses at the animals. I saw this video. They have this clip on They Will Kill You when TikTokers goes wrong. That's the name of the video where you can see her on that broadcast. This isn't Autry's first time dealing with lions. 2 years ago, she pleaded guilty to a trespass violation for also trying to get close to the lions in the exhibit and was banned for a year. The king couldn't take his eyes off me, she said. I did my dance. Keywords, I did my dance for him. I threw $100 bills and $100 bills and 12 dozen roses I bought him. Autry has not said if she plans to turn herself in, but said that with law enforcement, she will go through it. I'm just going to zoom in on this victim. And I just have to say it, true. I just have to say the truth. And I understand that this truth is unpleasant for many of victims of racism. But if you're a Black female, if you're a Black male and you dye your hair blonde and you straighten your hair, subconsciously or consciously, you are attempting to get closer to whiteness or so-called white identified. And look at the nails, red and green. Maybe she's doing her nails this way to celebrate the Christmas holiday spirit or whatever. More things non-white people should not be doing, celebrating holidays, horror days should not be celebrated. But a member of CRWS, Mr. Ray 1/0 said that he suspects that this is the result of racist men and racist women leading us towards bestiality. And if you see the clip that I'm talking about, when TikTokers goes wrong, they will kill you. Maybe you will get the same message. But yeah, it's just this is the ridiculousness that we spend our time doing. This Black female was at the zoo throwing $100 bills and roses to a animal, a lion at that. She definitely could have got mauled, but she didn't. She was able to survive her ridiculous act, and now she's getting a lot of so-called clout for her behaviors. But again, just the blonde weave. It looks like she's wearing contacts as well, which is just what identified to the max. Black people want to be everything but Black because somewhere in their brain computer, they get the message that, hey, I'm Black. Being Black kind of sucks. Actually, being Black sucks. So I'm going to do everything I can to lighten up, look less Black, look less. And I have to say that we are not Black. We have been classified as Black by racist men and racist women. But nonetheless, Black female, pitiful, tragic victim of racism and white supremacy, spending her time giving money to a lion. She could have easily gone and gave and helped some non-white people on the street who need help, but no, she's throwing $100 bills at lions in a zoo. So just an example of the extreme retardation we have been subjected to. And I hope motivation to just spread counter racist logic, counter racist code, because nowhere on planet Earth should a Black female be running into a lion's den and dancing for them. She literally said, what did she say? I did my dance for them. You know, who trained us to want to dance all the time? White people. So stop dancing. Get serious, please. And let's look at the chat. Let's see. Extra white. Yeah, the line was gonna go up. All right. I don't know if it's a white person, but this comment is very interesting. Well, Audrey, if you are reading this, I have cats that are descendants of the mighty lion. We welcome you to throwing as many $100 bills our way. The sky's the limit. So yeah, Black people do silly things, and it just allows an avenue for everyone to just make fun of us, everyone to mistreat us in this manner. So really, really incorrect. Should be motivation to want to solve this problem. And I'm just going to comment really quickly because we're talking about just white concepts and like dancing for animals. Black people didn't create that. White people created just the dancing epidemic that we are experiencing. So this title of this petition is called Recast T'Challa to honor Chadwick Boseman and the Black Panther franchise. So I think this is an example of just Black people wanting to exist and pretend to be in some sort of fantasy. And I'm not gonna lie, I understand that Black Panther 2 not having a Black male protagonist is very damaging to the young people who are immersed in this fictional universe known as Marvel. But this petition has 38,000 signatures. Imagine if we produce a petition to end white supremacy. I don't think it would get this many signatures. We can't even get enough Black people to want to think about the problem, to solve the problem. So I'm just gonna give my understanding of Black Panther 2. You know, Chadwick Boseman died of cancer, I believe last year, and now for Black Panther 2, there's only gonna be female protagonists, mostly, and this is what they're ramping up. They're eliminating all strong, constructive Black male protagonists in any movie, that is going to be coming out. And when you do see a protagonist that is a Black male, 9 times out of 10 are going to be anti-sexual, counter-sexual. Eternals, the only Black male protagonist in that movie is a so-called homosexual. So Chadwick Boseman's tragic death, it is, I suspect, and was not, and I'm not even gonna go there. I'm just saying that it's to be expected that Black Panther 2 will not have any strong male protagonists, because Black Panther 1 was such a maybe a constructive piece of cinema that encouraged Black people to be serious about solving problems, despite the story being super immersed in the white supremacy mindset, that being that Killmonger is a Black male wanting to literally end the system of white supremacy, and him being stopped by Black Panther. But still, Black Panther was a constructive character that Black male children were able to want to be like. But with his demise, now there's only going to be female. There's going to be a female Black Panther, Black female Black Panther, which, okay, in my books, I'm not excited to see it. I won't be supporting it. But this is an example of how we've been trained to want to exist in a fantasy and not confront reality. Should not be happening. It's truly tragic. So I would encourage, and I do encourage, all of us to get serious about solving the race problem. Things like this will not solve the race problem. Seeing Black males pretend to be so-called superheroes will not solve the problem. There's tons of documentaries that one can find on Real Black. There's a channel called Real Black, REEL Black. Again, full of constructive information. Check out, again, Context of White Supremacy, Mawali Baruti broadcast, Camus Kanban, forgive me for pronouncing that name incorrectly, Anthony E. Pryor, ton of broadcasts that show examples of real Black males being serious and constructive. This is who we should be so-called looking up to, trying to imitate, not Mr. T'Challa, which is a fictional character created by a white person. But I won't spend too much time on this, so I'm just gonna go on to the next clip. You saw that one. All right, this is a really interesting one. Let me wait till this ad plays, and we'll get to the clip.
Alan Reese, what's going on? Do you know who I am?
First name, last name.
No idea. You know my 14-year-old niece.
What's the cop?
I'll put it that way. That you've been texting for a couple months. You know her? The one you want sexy bikini pictures from? The one you want to wrestle and meet at her house when her mother's gone? Do I need to pull up the chats? I got her phone right here. So what are we going to do?
This man can't even deny it.
You're a Leo. Are you kidding me? Do you not think that's inappropriate?
Law enforcement
to ask
officer.
her for sexy bikini pics? Now you know what you can and can't say.
Yeah.
You go to prison.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd have the ICAT detective here with me. What do you have to say about that? That's my niece. What would you do if it was your niece? Do you want to wrestle? Do you see my ears? Do you want to wrestle a man like me? Is that what you want to do?
He just.
I'm sure
he
we
did
can
it.
find a school
He
around
did
here
it.
that
This
has
man
some
is
wrestling
baffled. He's
Do
like.
you want to pin me down? Do you think I'm smart enough to know what you're going to do after you pin me down? I didn't want to do this in front of any kids or anything like that. Okay, well, no, and I'm gonna be.
He's like, please, I'm sorry. All my other girls gonna see you. They think I'm the only one. They think they're the only one I'm talking to.
How do you think I feel when that's my 14-year-old niece? And you're working at a school? Are you kidding me?
How do you think he gets more victims?
I back the blue. I work with law enforcement constantly. You should take that badge off. 1042. You should take that belt off and take your ass home. Is what you should do. I'm gonna let you get back to work, but I wanted you to see my face and see the man that's gonna be watching for you. I know everything about you. Everything. All right? If you ever come near my niece or you come near any children, I'm gonna be there, and so are the ICAC detectives.
There's an ad playing soon. I don't want to give Facebook any more money or subject y'all to a nonsense ad. So I think we've seen enough. But here we have a race soldier, which is often confused with a police officer. You know, there's no such thing as police officers. If that was the thing, we'd have police. They would be enforcing peace and justice. They do not. They enforce the system of white supremacy, mistreatment, subjugation of non-white people, especially Black people. But what's important about this clip is this race soldier, so-called law enforcement, has been found to be texting a child inappropriately, you know. And if you understand the history of white people, the history of Rome, and how even during the fall of Rome, what was very popular during them was very popular in white culture. Oh, it's sex with children, sexually abusing children. Often, white man, white boy, white man, non-white boy. That is often the dynamic. And this is where I suspect they're trying to take us back to, you know, which is why we have that clip of that professor that maybe you all have seen, of the professor who was recently placed on leave for producing a video where he is talking about MAPS, aka minor attracted persons. And yeah, I just really suggest everyone check out the Mawali Barudi broadcast on the Context of White Supremacy archive that I put in the chat, because you will really learn about just white behavior and how white people, just, I suspect, white supremacists love access to children. You know, this race soldier who was found to be chatting a minor inappropriately works at a school. Why does he work at a school? I suspect, like the Black male said, because he has access to victims, and we all know how race soldiers have the power to just really rough up on non-white people, you know, get on top of them, handcuff them, you know, and while they're doing that, ample opportunities to fill up on them and sexually abuse them. So this is a very telling clip. I'll put it in a chat if folks want to bookmark it and share it with other folks, because it's very, very telling. And if they want to report this race soldiers, the batch number was said in the broadcast. So I'll put it in the chat if you want to watch it, share it with folks. Yeah, so-called police, they are just arms, tools in the system of white supremacy. There's a reason why you don't have to like have a degree to become a race soldier. All you have to do is be a white person and or be any person willing to maintain and support the system of white supremacy to get your badge and a gun, you know, to get your license to kill non-white people, especially Black people, and indiscriminately. Which is why they're here. You know, the whole history of so-called policing stems from slave patrol going out and catching Black people, runaway slaves, they called them. So the system of white supremacy is trying to take us back to ancient Rome times where it was no problem for them to sexually abuse non-white people, children, consistently. And this relates to the whole foster care industry, the whole reality of so-called homosexual white people adopting Black children and conditioning them and producing that insane acute insanity within the children they adopt, allowing the children to be gay, leading the children to be so-called gay. All very incorrect and very telling of exactly what kind of system we are in. It's not
cops 911
it's not a correct system, not a just system. It's this system of vileness and incorrectness. More motivation for us to solve the problem, I hope. More motivation. So let me go to
Victor.
The next clip. We're still in the and again, before I play this clip, before I forget, Dave Chappelle, what did he say? He wants the LGBTQ to stop punching down on Black people. And I want them to do the same. The so-called queer community, please, I'm begging you, as a pitiful, powerless Black male, stop punching down on Black people. And this is an example of the LGBTQ punching down on Black people.
Call cops 911 now. Victor, get my wallet. Call cops, bitch. Call cops, nigger, nigger, nigger. Call them. 911.
For what?
485. Call cops, nigger.
Are you okay?
Call cops, nigger.
Do you
Nigger,
need help?
nigger, nigger, stupid slutty nigger. Call the fucking cops, nigger. Call the fucking cops, nigger. Call the cops, nigger. 4851 Del Monte Avenue.
He spit on me and hit me for no reason.
Call cops 911 now. Victor, get my wallet.
So yeah, I'm aware. I have no problem saying that the so-called LGBTQ community is very dangerous and very damaging to the psyche and existence of non-white people, especially Black people, because it is a organization of white people that supports sex between white people and Black people, which is the greatest insult. The greatest form of racial aggression is a white person having sex, aka raping a non-white person and pretending it's sex. Should not happen. And yeah, I just don't support that sort of behavior. I don't care what organization you're calling yourself. If you are saying that a white person is okay and it is correct for a white person to have sex with a non-white person, that is totally insane, totally a practice of racism and white supremacy, because it just leads to immense confusion. A Black person having sex with a white person, that Black person is going to be retarded even further and thinking that this white person loves them, this white person is treating them correctly, which is not the case. So this clip is very telling that the LGBTQ whatever, it's not concerned with helping Black people. It is simply wanting to use Black people as sexual objects that they're allowed to abuse and misuse. I'm just gonna play some of it again because it's shout out to Dave Chappelle. The LGBT community, please help us to solve the problem of white supremacy. Please promote a system of justice, because all I see y'all promoting is confusion. Non-white people, Black people being confused about what they should be doing in every age sex. Please promote a system of justice. Please say, hey, We need to establish a system of justice. We need to guarantee that no one is allowed to be mistreated, and those who need help receive constructive help. During your parades, please promote a system of justice. During your parades, please say, you know what? We as white people are in a powerful position. Non-white people, Black people are in a powerless position. It's incorrect for us to have sex with them. It's incorrect for us to pretend that we are equal. We are in an imbalanced system. It's incorrect for us to say that homophobia is equal to racism. It is not. So shout out to Dave Chappelle, the LGBTQ. Please stop punching down on Black people.
Call the cops, bitch! Call the cops, nigger, nigger, nigger! Call them! 911!
For what?
485! Call cops, nigger.
Are you okay?
Call cops, nigger.
Do you need help?
Nigger, nigger, stupid slutty nigger.
So there you have it. These white people cannot be our friends. They cannot be our allies. They cannot be our lovers. They cannot be our anything. They have labeled us as their enemies. So hopefully motivation for the LGBTQ Black folks to get serious about the problem. Tragically, I have a relative, a member of the LGBTQ, and I think the damage is severe because they are not interested in solving the problem or being motivated to solve the problem. So maybe I'll send her this broadcast and she'll get serious. We already watched this one. Saw this one. And that may be all of them. All right, yeah, I think that's all of them. I think that concludes the collection of clips. I don't know how long I've been on, but yeah, I'd like to thank the audience for their audienceship, and I do appreciate you all being here for that 2 hours, and I do hope this was of constructive value. Thank you, Rate This Record. Thank you, Raw's Interpreter, Coco Jojo, and Rayo Rowlett. This was CRWS Racism in Plain Sight, a broadcast intended to show victims, and if such a thing exists, a white person wanting to solve the problem of racism and white supremacy, this was intended to show you the racism in plain sight. We witnessed lots of ghetto glorification, lots of confusion, lots of incorrect behavior from white people and non-white people. And we have to solve the problem. We can solve the problem. Neely Fuller Jr. says, anything put together by people can be taken apart by people. It is our duty to solve the problem. We do not need to live in a system of white supremacy forever. We do not need to be dominated forever. We do not need to be subjugated forever. We do not need to be mistreated forever as Black people, as non-white people, as people who have been classified as Black. So please share this broadcast. Please share it wherever you can, however you can. Again, please share counterracism.com, thefairDevil.com, context of white supremacy, just all information of victims who want to solve the problem. I'm gonna see if there's anything in the chat. Oh yeah, talk to you later. Rate This Record. Thanks for your audience. Truly appreciate it. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. I don't want to take up any more of your time and energy. Again, thanks for your audience. Thanks for liking the video, sharing the video. And CRWS signing out.